What is good, YouTube? It's Warstu here with a video on the Arrow Season 5, Episode 21, Honor Thy Fathers, which is actually a comic book. No, it's not really. It's a reference to the second episode of Season 1 of Arrow called Honor Thy Father. I know, you see what they did there? They added an S onto the title, which is really interesting. And we finally found out after 100 episodes plus how the Deathstroke mask got the arrow through it. I know you guys have been begging to find out how they've done that, but they finally revealed it in a flashback, and it wasn't really that interesting, but it was kind of cool to see it. So I call this episode, it was kind of a filler, but there was some kind of focus on building the tension between Oliver and Simon Morrison. I know, Simon Morrison. Give it up to CW, giving a villain as Simon Morrison. I mean, we have Slade Wilson, Damien Dark, and there we have Prometheus. Simon Morrison, the greatest Arrow villain ever. Seriously, guys, what are you saying? So, let's get into this breakdown, guys. So, it's so interesting, right? Because we've got a character like Felicity Smoke. She is dubbed as the Oracle. She's dubbed as like a really clever computer hacker to the point that Helix hired her. But Simon Morrison could find Oliver's son, but Felicity still couldn't find him. I mean, the Arrow writers, what the fuck is going on with you guys? Seriously, sort your shit out. I mean, I want to know the massive backstory to how Simon freaking Morrison could break Black Siren out from Star Labs heavy security, dubbed up, fucking souped up by Cisco himself, how he could break Black Siren out without even anyone noticing, how he could find Oliver's son when Felicity couldn't. I mean, the guy's a genius. I mean, he's an assassin, he's some kind of voodoo hacker that can kind of find things that other people can't. But that's just a sidetrack. So we got Willa Holland back this week. Thea finally came back, and there was a really cool cuddle between the two. And then we found out how Deathstroke's mask ended up on the island. So when KJ Beast, aka Anatolia, came back to Liang Yu with Oliver, the Deathstroke mask kind of washed up on the island. And then he was like to Anatolia, he was a friend. And then he basically just hanged it up and put an arrow through it. But it is pretty cool because I guess we've always wondered how the arrow got in the Deathstroke mask. So now we know it was kind of disappointing. So Renee, aka Wild Dog, has his first hearing with the kind of I don't know, the people that decide whether he can have his kid back or not. So that's kind of an interesting storyline that they could potentially play upon to build upon his backstory, which has been kind of weak. So the premise of the episode was based around Oliver's father, and it turns out that Oliver's father actually killed someone and tried to cover it up, as Simon Morrison, I'm going to keep calling him that for now, Simon Morrison delivered a coffin to Oliver Queen's mayor's office, and it had a dead body, and prints of Robert Queen were found there, and he tried to cover up that he killed someone. That's probably why back in season 1, before Robert Queen shot himself in the head, and he says, "I'm not the person you think I am." So basically the whole episode was based around that premise. We had all the convicts that Simon Morrison put away. Simon Morris. All the people, Simon Morrison. Let's just call him Simon from now on. I'm getting confused. Whatever. Anyway, so all the convicts are out. We get the character played by Cody Rhodes, the kind of iZombie kind of indestructible guy coming back, which was kind of cool. It was really cool. So we found out backstory about Prometheus his father, aka Simon. And you could see this mile off. So Simon's father actually didn't want him because Simon's father knew that he was a psychopath, which is kind of interesting. And then we got Adrian Chase on his hands and knees going, "What do you know? What do you know?" And it was kind of cool. I really think that Josh is a cool actor. He is really good, but it was so freaking obvious. And he gets on his knee and bows and gives up and surrenders. And then we find out that Kovar was on the island when Oliver went back and he was supposed to get the ship back home. So it's going to be interesting. So I presume in probably next week's episode, probably not the finale, we'll find out who won in the fight between Oliver and Kovar. It's pretty obvious that Oliver won, unless Kovar's actually the vigilante. So then we get the court hearing and Renee doesn't turn up because ironically next week's episode called Missing or I'm Missing or something like that. So basically Prometheus is going to kind of get his people on the outside to kidnap people and take them to Liang Yu. I'm really liking where this season's going currently. And then Oliver admits that Robert Queen wasn't the person we all loved and cherished. We found out that, well, he admits to media that, his dad did kill someone and covered it up, but then he did a massive emotional speech about how he shot himself. He didn't say shot himself in the head, but he gave his own life up to potentially save his son. And then we get Simon in a prison cell watching this speech, which is really, really interesting because I think the Flash and Arrow villains have a lot in common. They both have a sinister look in their eyes. Obviously, I'm comparing Grant Gustin to Josh, but they both look sinister. So it was pretty obvious what the plan was. He gets himself captured, put in prison, and then people keep going missing and missing and missing and missing, which is kind of obvious. And we all know from the promotional video for next week's episode who is behind it. Well, we don't. Ollie gets a phone call, and it's going to be my girl Kate Cassidy, but Black Siren on the other line. So I think that's going to be quite a cool episode. I think I'm really looking forward to that. But guys, let's address the fucking elephant in the room, guys. There's a big elephant in the room. Warstu, what are you on about? I'm on about the fact where fucking Simon goes, "We were trained by the same person. How did you think this was going to end?" No, just no, son. You were not trained by the same person. Oliver was trained by Slade Wilson. Oliver was trained by Yo Fei. Oliver was trained by Shadow. Technically, Oliver was kind of trained by Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins. So how the hell can Oliver get bested by Prometheus, who was just trained by Talia al Ghul? This kind of plot hole really annoys me, because if it wasn't for Talia al Ghul sticking an arrow in Oliver's leg before Simon tortured him. Imagine being tortured by someone called Simon. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, without Talia's plan and without Talia shoving an arrow in his leg, Simon wouldn't have even tortured him. It's just annoying the fact that people think Prometheus could take out bloody Oliver, let alone Deathstroke. I mean, guys, that's basically what I thought about the episode. It was really strong. I loved the episode. There was just a lot of plot holes that didn't really make much sense. So hopefully the Arrow's writing room covers this shit up, because I don't know, like they ruined the season last week with such a weak episode, like right before the finale, where I don't really get where they were going. Anyway, guys, I'm your boy Warstu. I've been your entertainer for today, stroke commentator. Anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace.